Hey, happy Sunday, everyone. Thanks for coming back. It's nice to have you back. I have just a smattering of things to talk about today. We've had a good weekend. It's been busy. Jeff has been working with his laser cutting stuff. He got a laser engraver kind of thing. So that's where he is right now, in the garage practicing. So he's having fun with that. So you won't see him in this video. He won't be coming through cleaning windows today. So he's out there playing with that, but having a good time. And he's making some really pretty pins. He's getting really good at that. So that's fun to watch. And it's good for us to have hobbies that are not just sitting in front of the TV, which we do extremely well. But we're trying to do some other things too. So anyway, that kind of leads into the subject of our end of the year sprint. I don't know if you're doing that or not, but one of the things on my list for the end of the year is cleaning out closets and my pantry. So, which I have not done at all yet. So, after I do my video today and watch one YouTube thing, my little lady from London, not London, but she's from England, that I watch all the time. I really love her. And she posts about 1 o'clock every Sunday. So when I finish doing this, I'm going to watch her latest post, and then my plan is to clean my pantry out. And it's not really bad. I just, every once in a while you just kind of need to reorganize a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of reorganize, put things together a little bit better so I can manage it a little bit better. So that's my job for this afternoon. One of them. What else was I going to do? Oh, the other thing on my end of the year sprint was working on getting an editor. And last week, remember I told y'all that I was contacting a lady who would potentially edit for me. It's through a company, Christian Editing Connections, I think is what it's called. But anyway, I submitted a request and I got two contacts back from two different people. One of them sounded like a really good fit. And then I sent in a sample for them to look at so they could tell whether they wanted to work with me or not. And one of them sent back a really highly edited thing, which was fine. That's what she's supposed to be doing. But one of her comments was, she said, I called in my book, in the piece that I sent her, I was talking about an investigator, and a task force was talking about him, and they called him a crackerjack investigator. Well, where I come from, that just means he's really good at what he does. I've never known anybody to say or take that as a slur, but one of her comments was that cracker was a slur for white people, and it could be, very offensive. And I thought, and she just kind of went on and on about that for a little while. And it had the feeling of being very woke to me, which I am not about at all. So I said, thank you so much. I've found somebody else to work with. Unfortunately, I have, because the other lady that I sent a sample to sent back some corrections and things like that. And then we had a phone conversation. And that went really well. And it felt good. It felt like a good connection and a good possibility. So, and one of the things I like is that once she's finished with the edit, we can have a phone conversation about her critiques and her suggestions and recommendations and that kind of thing. And So it kind of can be a back and forth kind of thing, which I really like. That's very helpful to be able to talk things out a lot. So I have sent my manuscript into her, and she should have it back to me by October 31st, which is coming up pretty soon, about 2 weeks. So that's exciting to look forward to. I know there's going to be a lot of stuff I need to work on and polish. This one has been a booger to write from the beginning. It's never been easy. There are some parts of it that I absolutely love. Some of the scenes that I wrote that I just love. And there are some that I think, what in the world was I thinking? Does that really fit in here? I don't know. And you know how sometimes that you just look at something and read it or do it so many times that you just lose perspective on it. You just like, I need somebody with fresh eyes to look at this and tell me where it stinks and where it's good and where I need to fix it and that kind of thing. So that's what she's going to do. And I'm looking forward to getting that back. I really like that process. I know a lot of people are intimidated by it and frustrated when they get edits back with a lot of suggestions and corrections and things like that. But I like that. And I think that is part of what helps us grow as writers or artists or teachers or parents, whatever. That constructive criticism and support is so good. It's like the iron sharpens iron kind of thing. And God knew what he was doing, didn't he, when he gave us people that have similar interests that are a little bit ahead of us, or maybe a lot ahead of where we are in our field or in our in the hobby that we like, whatever, in our artistic endeavors. People that have gone before and have learned and are willing to teach. And there are so many in the writing community, there are so many people out there who are so generous with not only their time and their knowledge, but just their hearts to encourage and help you keep your perspective on things and tell you not to quit when your story sucks. Go back and do it again. That's what rewrites are for. So I'm very thankful for this lady. And she talked to me about a lot of other things, some other opportunities and things to do that I was real grateful for. So I am looking into some of those. One of those is having audiobooks done, which I've thought about for a long time, but just haven't followed through with doing. So if y'all are praying for me as a writer and all of that, that's one of the things you can add to the list, is that I'll know where to take this if it's the right thing to do, and then I find the right person to work with. So I'm kind of excited about that, and we'll be looking at that. Now, speaking of writing things, my Word Weavers group, which is the critique group that I belong to, is getting ready to celebrate big this week for one of our members. Felicia Ferguson is about to publish her first novel, and it comes out Tuesday. Now, mine was supposed to come this weekend, and it has not. And I just got a message from Amazon that they've experienced a delay in shipping, which I hate because I really want to have it. I wanted to have it to show you today, but you can actually go to Amazon and look it up. Her name is Felicia Ferguson. The name of the book is The Choices She Made, and you will not want to miss this book. She has worked on this for a good long time and had so many agents and publishers turn it down because of the subject matter. But Endgame Press picked it up, and I think it is going to be so relevant to what's going on in our society now. It's about a young lady who was raped as a young woman, teenager. She became pregnant, and all of the storyline is about every choice she made along the way. And there are lots of them. And it will make you cry. It will make you laugh. it will make you want to hit somebody in the face in the book, not just anybody. But it's beautifully written, and it's in two different timelines. So you see her early on, and then you see her later with all the choices that she's made. And there will be a sequel coming out, which is going to be good. She's working hard on that. She's a beautiful writer, and I really hope that you will get this book and read it and write her a review and all of that. All the things that you do for authors. Authors? Not authors. Authors. Writers. Let me just say it like that. For writers, not named Arthur. For writers that you like. So, go to Amazon, check it out. It'll be in paperback and Kindle if you have Kindle readers and you like those things. So Amazon, Books A Million, all those places, you can find it. And I am so excited for her. She's excited and nervous, but the book has been pre-selling really, really well. So I'm very happy for her. And so if you have a chance, check it out. Speaking of books, yesterday, Saturday, Jeff and I took the day. Tuesday was our anniversary, 24 years. But because it was a work week and all of that, we didn't really have time to celebrate or do anything. So Saturday, yesterday, we took the day and went over to Destin to eat. And I took him to Lulu's. I don't know if y'all have ever been there before. It's one of my favorite places in the world to go. It's just fun. It's pretty. It's on the water. The food is wonderful. I didn't really think I would get him there. But since it was our anniversary, he said, wherever you want to go. And I said, Lulu's. So while we were waiting for a table, I was looking around. They have great stuff. I bought Gumbo Love, and it's autographed. So I was flipping through it, and I was thinking, well, do I really need a cookbook? In one sense, no, I don't need a cookbook. But in the sense of, do I need some ideas about new stuff to fix? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm struggling with this. To just, we're trying to do low carb stuff and things that are basically healthy. And I was looking through here and I was thinking, there's some things in here that are really low carb. Honestly, not a lot of them, but they're like some of the vegetable things and the fish dishes and that kind of thing are really low carb. And then I looked at the price and I was thinking, wow, it's $30. I don't want to spend $30 on a book. And then the lady that was working there came up and she said, that's a great book, isn't it? I said, it looks awesome. She said, it's on sale for $19.99. I said, sold. Yep. So anyway, I have bought this book and I'm excited about trying some of the recipes. So I will, when I start cooking from it, I'll take a picture of what I make and, let y'all see it. But I'm looking, of course it's got a gumbo recipe in here, several, but some really good stuff. And one of the things I like about it, I was flipping through, there's stories in here from her background and growing up and childhood and stuff like that, and how the recipes, kind of fit in her life. And I love that, don't you? Just to hear the stories of people's families and things that they went through. And, they had this recipe at Great Aunt Maud's funeral and everybody loved it. Or, So I'm looking forward to reading through it too. And of course, it's got beautiful pictures of food in here that just makes you want to eat. And so I'm going to try a bunch of these. And on weekends when we're not really sticking close to low carb, I'm going to make some of those other ones too. So, anyway, that's what we did this weekend, and it was nice. We didn't watch the Alabama game. We listened to it while we were out, and it was intense. And I'm glad we didn't sit here and watch it because it right down to the wire. But you know what? I love that there are people out there in the world, in their professions, that are just sharing their faith. And yesterday I saw a post today. One of our friends reposted a post from Bryce Young, who's the quarterback at Alabama. And he said this, and I love it. If you want us to cry, we will not. If you're looking for excuses, there are none at the University of Alabama. Tired and weary, but never broken. The things you learn from losses are far more important than those moments when you're standing on the mountaintop. Romans 5:3-5 says, "More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." What an amazing response to a heartbreaking loss. As hard as they played yesterday, to lose. I mean, anytime to lose, it's frustrating. But to work and scrap and play so hard and get down to the end and still lose, it's heartbreaking. But to have that kind of response to the world, what does that show people? We think so many times that you have to be the preacher or you have to be in ministry, whatever that is, to make a big impression on people. But there's a reason why God has people strategically placed everywhere, on football teams, in hospitals, in lawyers' offices, in businesses, at Walmart. Lord help them if they're in Walmart. But, at Dairy Queen, at Sonic, because that's where people are who need to hear about Jesus. And if the only place that Christians are is in a church, then we're going to miss 95% of the people in the world. That's just the truth of it. So think about that as you go to work tomorrow, or as you go to the store tomorrow. There are no accidental meetings with people. If God puts somebody in your path, it may be because you need to share Jesus with them. But sometimes it may be that they don't need to hear the words. They need to see somebody that acts like Jesus. They need to see somebody who is patient and caring and not in such a hurry that they have no time to be kind or courteous to somebody. They may just need to be encouraged. Sometimes you can be so discouraged that you can't really absorb information about much, but you do notice a compliment or when somebody's kind. And so think about that as you go about your day tomorrow. We're just missionaries wherever we go. And I think sometimes we look for the big encounters and the Oh, I met this person on the beach and we got to talking about Jesus and we sat down and spent 3 hours together and I read my Bible and we prayed for 2 minutes and all this big thing. And that's wonderful if you do that. I'm not putting that down. But I think we can focus on those things so much that we forget that sometimes, not sometimes, every time, the little things that we do all during the day show people what we're like and who we belong to. And, I remember growing up in the 70s, and we would have people come to our church and give their testimonies. And without fail, they were, ex-drug addicts and motorcycle club members and, all these people with these huge, big, dramatic testimonies. And it's wonderful. God can save anybody from anything, anywhere, anytime. And it's wonderful. I'm not discounting that. But if those are the only testimonies that you ever hear, then you sit there and think, well, okay, I don't know what just happened. I was in the middle of talking and it just stopped. Something about, I got to free up some room for a video. So I'm going to stop. But anyway, your testimony is important. People need to see you being kind, being Jesus, hands and feet. And you can do that in just all kind of ways. Like Bryce Young, even when things are bad, you don't quit, you don't get discouraged, you learn from it. And so that's one of the things I'm trying to do is when having a hard time and trying to, instead of always immediately saying, God, fix this for me, trying to make myself stop and say, what do you want me to learn from this? It's not easy because what I want to say is fix it for me. But anyway, before this cuts off again, I'm going to just bring this to a close. But I hope you guys have a good week. Thank you for coming back and watching again. And I will see you next week with a straightened out pantry and maybe some other stuff to tell you about. Have a great week. Take care.